One of my most favorite books I read last year was called Extremely Online by Taylor Lorenz. She's also one of my favorite follows on TikTok and Instagram. But basically, she chronicles the history of the internet with a specific lens on influencer and influencer culture. I learned so much from it and it made me think so much. Like, first of all, she talks about the rise of mommy bloggers and what a watershed moment that was for all moms, because at the time, the only place that women saw themselves as a mom was in TV shows. And the only thing they saw was a very sanitized version of motherhood. So it was like moms with perfect hair, perfect makeup, being happy all the time. But obviously that's not how moms felt. So when mommy bloggers became popular and they were showing like their messy living rooms, their kids having breakdown, their hair being in a mess, moms were like, oh my God, this is so amazing. This is so relatable. And it became so mainstream. So these mommy bloggers were becoming really popular, really famous, pouring all this content onto the internet. Then brands, of course, started to recognize this shift and see like, wow, the dialogue around motherhood is changing and our audience is here. Like, we should partner with these mommy bloggers to get in front of this audience. And then for mommy bloggers too, of course, like, they're putting so much time and effort into cultivating this community and managing their blog that they started wanting to be compensated for it. And so brands started partnering with mommy bloggers and they started monetizing their pages. And I know there's nuance there. Like, when I say mommy blogger, of course you're thinking immediately cringe. And of course there was some harm where mothers were exploiting their children for profit. However, if you like take a step back and think about like the grand scheme of things, like mommy bloggers were the very first people to invent the creator economy. They don't get enough credit for that. So mommy bloggers started monetizing their pages and people were up in arms. They were pissed to the point that people were demanding these mommy bloggers to go KILL themselves. And sadly, a few of them did. The same people who were obsessed with the mommy bloggers and grateful for them creating a space for mothers to unite were criticizing them for criticizing their morals and intentions for wanting payment for their labor. Does that sound familiar, where we expect women to provide labor without payment? I think that's literally just one chapter of the book. I highly, highly recommend it. I think that story alone really paints a picture of what we expect women's relationship with labor and money should be. We see it in the workplace all the time, or even like large group communities where we expect the woman to take on majority of the labor as volunteer without payment. And I think we've seen it time and time again that when a woman asks, expects, or demands payment for their labor, society does not respond well to that. So the next time that you want more money, but you feel a little bit guilty, don't feel ashamed about that. Like, you feel a little bit of embarrassment, you feel a little bit of guilt because you've seen society do this time and time again. And I think that's why it's so important for women to be vocal about wanting more money or wanting money, because we deserve it.